Welcome back to TBRD. As you can see, I am not alone today. We are down in Williamsburg, Virginia, riding with my brother who's on his FZ9, my old man there who's riding his FZ6. We're going to head down to the parkway down here in Williamsburg, Virginia, and see what sort of fun we can have. Maybe we'll do some polls and see how the FZ9 and the FZ6 and this S1000 XR run up the road together. Anyways, we're really just out for a joyride. Gonna have some fun today, so stay tuned. So yesterday, decided late in the afternoon that I had a pretty good weather window, so we left northern Maryland to come down here to Williamsburg, Virginia, which, if you're familiar with the area, is always a major crapshoot traffic-wise. It is almost impossible to make it down without being backed up on 95, and there are really no good alternative routes. Really wish lane filtering was a legal thing, especially around the DC and Northern Virginia area with all the traffic. So on a really good day, you can typically make that ride in a car in about 3.5 to 3 hours and 45 minutes. And I was moving yesterday. I was looking to get down here in about 3 hours, 10 minutes, pretty unobstructed, until, of course, hit an accident. And what was supposed to be a 3 hour and, we'll say, 15-minute drive turned into closer to 5 hours with a lot of stop-and-go traffic. A lot of stop, unfortunately, which gets pretty toasty, as you know. I think I've commented in the past, probably one of the not as nice characteristics about this BMWS1000 XR is it throws a lot of heat. And definitely a lot of heat when sitting in traffic, unfortunately. But we survived. The one nice thing I can say is it's the first stint I've had on this bike for 5 straight hours. And I've talked twice, particularly in the review I did of this, about the seat. This is the first time I've been in the seat for 5 consecutive hours on a highway. I had done about 2 prior to that. Held up great. I was also curious about really kind of the angle of your leg with the knees, with it being a little bit more aggressive, and super comfortable, no issues. 5 hours, highway speeds, no buzzy, nothing. So happy to report that. One thing I'm thinking about as we kind of loaf along here behind this truck, my brother who's up in front of me on his FZ9, when you're riding with other riders, typically you want to put your slowest rider out front for various reasons, but primarily safety, so that they're not trying to push and keep up. Not exactly what we have going on here. I'm not altogether familiar with all these routes. So we got my brother up front, and he is a very skilled, very fast rider, which I'm sure at some point will be evident today during our joyride. And you know, it's important to ride at your own pace. I do not try to stick with him, especially because I am unfamiliar with the roads. He knows them all like the back of his hands. But I would say even if I knew all these roads, I still wouldn't be trying to stick with him. He can ride at a pace I'm just not comfortable with, and that's all right. You gotta know your machine, know your skills, skill level, and the most important thing is to be safe and have a lot of fun, which is what we're going to do today. We're going to put it on the sports screen. Oh, check out the scooter trike. Very cool. I like anything that's on 2 wheels, 3 wheels. Oops, I guess we're not turning. Again, don't know where I'm going. Hello, Fuzzy 9 with sticky tires. Still got the track tires on there. And we're across the road. We are here, like I said, down. There's the Jamestown settlement parking. Lots and lots of history around this area. It's a very beautiful area. And you'll see lots of folks out on bikes, bicycles, walking, running. It's a great area. We are heading towards the parkway. You'll see this aggregate surface. And this is a strange area if you've never been down here, or at least on the parkway. It's like 3 lanes with the center lane being passing in either direction. Lots of pretty scenery down here. Take a look. Oh yeah. Got some buzzard flying there, but you'll see a lot of osprey. There's one over there, and amongst the buzzards. So you'll see what I'm talking about with these 3 lanes on this parkway here. So the tropical storm blew through on Tuesday. It's now Sunday, but one of the things you got to watch for down here is all this dry pine needles that'll accumulate. That stuff is like riding on ice. Always good to be aware of that. I do really like the parkway for just a relaxed ride. Or a relaxed part of your ride, I should say. I am interested not in getting a ticket, especially as strictly enforced as everything is down in Virginia, especially around this area, but I am interested to see this BMW 2020 S1000 XR do a roll-on pull with that FZ9. I've ridden my brother's bike. It is as most people know, torque monster, that inline triple. Yamaha got that engine right for sure. It's a good looking bike too. I feel like it's a lot better looking in person than it is in pictures. Not that it looks bad in pictures, but it's very svelte compared to this beast that I am riding on now, which I think adds to the fun of that bike. Very, very prone to wheelie. I've been getting adjusted to this bike in terms of wheeling, and I'm so used to the multi-strada with all the torque that it had and that short wheelbase. My multi-strada would wheelie on command, really no problem in multiple gears with not much more effort than just kind of a fairly hard roll-on. I have found that this bike is a lot less prone to wheelie. Surely it will. I've pulled some power wheelies on it, but I haven't really stood it up. That's not my style. But I suppose if that's what you're into, it'll certainly do it, but I find it likes to wheelie up around the power band. Peak power coming on just after 9,000 RPM. So I find the easiest way to wheelie this particular bike in first gear is get it rolling and really crack it at about 5,000 RPM and she'll come right up. Having said that, the wheelie control, very functional. It works as advertised as far as I can tell at this point. I don't particularly need to be doing high screaming wheelies, like I said, probably on the wrong channel, although I will admit to you it's pretty enjoyable to watch some of that sometimes. It's just not my style at almost 40 with the little one at home. Try to mitigate as much risk as I can, but still have a lot of fun. But yeah, that Yamaha, it'll wheelie all the time. Definitely your bike if you're into that. This one I just like the roll-on power. See my dad back there in the rear view. Shout out and props to the old man getting it done. Just had, at the beginning of July, his 70th birthday. What do we got here bird-wise? Oh yeah, there she goes. It looked like an osprey. I didn't get a very good look. But yeah, shout out to my old man. 70 years old. He's got his Grom and his FC6. He's kicked around the idea of getting a new bike. Oh, a deer. Never what you want to see. Well, I shouldn't say never what you want to see, but I guess when you're on two wheels, it's the last thing I want to see running in front of me. I took my MSF course, and my instructor, who rode a Goldwing, had hit a deer at 65 miles an hour, and he had all his gear that he shared with us from that incident, and he was a lucky man. But he had his full face helmet and all his riding gear on, because boy did it look rough for sliding across the pavement. Let's see what the broski has to say here.